In America, more than 20,000 homicides are reported every year. According to the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program, about 40% of those cases remain unsolved, leaving families without justice and communities haunted by unanswered questions. Forensic science has advanced dramatically in recent decades, but sometimes even progress cannot undo the power of myths, legends, and blind trust in authority. Some cases aren't just about a crime, they're about the story people want to believe and the darker truth hidden beneath it. This is one of those cases. Welcome to CrimeBot Chronicles. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Today, we uncover a chilling twist in a decades-old mystery, the death of Pauline Mullins Pusser, wife of the legendary Tennessee Sheriff Buford Pusser, whose life inspired the famous Walking Tall movies. For years, the official story was that the sheriff and his wife were ambushed by the Dixie Mafia. Pauline was killed instantly. Buford survived, scarred but alive, and went on to become a folk hero. But in 2025, new forensic analysis and long-ignored witness testimony shattered that myth. The evidence suggests the unthinkable. Buford Pusser himself may have been the one who pulled the trigger.
A major twist in a death investigation that goes back 6 decades. The district attorney revealing that if he were alive today, West Tennessee Sheriff Buford Pusser would be facing charges connected to the death of his wife, Pauline. This news conference underway in Fayette County has rewritten Tennessee history. Several law enforcement leaders, including the TBI, believe Sheriff Buford Pusser may be behind the death of his wife. It was previously thought the couple was ambushed in 1967, leading to Pauline's death. Now the TBI director cites, quote, significant inconsistencies with Pusser's accounts and conflicting physical evidence.
To understand the weight of this revelation, you need to know where the story begins. McNairy County, Tennessee, a place of quiet roads, Baptist churches, and close-knit communities. In the 1960s, it was a county struggling with bootlegging, moonshine, illegal gambling, and organized crime spilling over from Mississippi. Into this environment stepped Buford Pusser. Buford was larger than life, 6'6", broad-shouldered, a former professional wrestler who traded the ring for the badge. He became sheriff in 1964, young, ambitious, and determined to clean up his county. He was famous for carrying a big stick, literally a 4-foot-long club he used in raids instead of a firearm. To locals, he was a hero, tough, incorruptible, walking tall against crime. By his side was his wife, Pauline, soft-spoken, warm, and deeply devoted to her children. Friends described her as kind, gentle, and always willing to help neighbors in need. She lived the life of a sheriff's wife, supporting Buford's dangerous work, raising their kids, and enduring the risks that came with being married to a man at war with criminals. But on August 12, 1967, everything changed. According to Buford, as they drove down New Hope Road, gunfire erupted. He claimed the Dixie Mafia ambushed them. Pauline was struck in the head and killed instantly. Buford was shot in the jaw, barely surviving.
We're now traveling south on New Hope Road. This is the road that Sheriff Pusser and Pauline took in the early morning hours of August 12, 1967. This is where it happened on the 12th of August, 1967. Sheriff Pusser and his wife was driving down through here. Just as they crossed this bridge, a car come around to the side of them and they're starting up this hill in a slow curve. Shots rang out that killed Pauline. The sheriff, when he realized what had happened, he stops on the gas, pulls on off. He goes on up further. This is the first spot where the attack happened. He goes on up to a cemetery, pulls off to see about her. And that's when they come back the second time and shoot him. Then he pulls off and goes all the way to 45 highway, turns back towards Selmer trying to get help, probably to take her to the hospital or to get help. We're now going on down. This is what happened when Buford stumped the gas on his car trying to get away from the assassins. He realized that Pauline was still alive, and he pulls over a couple of miles down the road in order to see about her. Contrary to the movie, the sheriff stated that him or Pauline never got out of the car. After the second attack, the assassins evidently thought that they had killed Bowen, the sheriff and his wife. After a little while, the sheriff headed home south on New Hope Road, hit 45. It's believed he then turned north.
The official narrative painted Buford as the victim of organized crime, a man who sacrificed his own safety in the name of justice. Hollywood took that story and ran with it, turning it into the Walking Tall movies. The sheriff became an icon, and Pauline's death became part of a legend. But now, nearly 6 decades later, forensic science has revealed cracks in that legend. In 2025, the McNairy County District Attorney's Office reopened the case. Forensic experts conducted 3D reconstructions of the car, re-examined bullet trajectories, and analyzed blood spatter patterns. The results were devastating to Buford's legacy. The evidence suggested the shots didn't come from outside the car. They came from within. The fatal bullet trajectory pointed toward the driver's side seat.
Our office, after review of the case file, believes that the TBI has produced evidence sufficient to create probable cause, meaning more likely than not, that would allow us, if he were alive today, to present an indictment to the McNairy County Grand Jury for their consideration against Buford Pusser for the murder of his wife, Pauline.
Law enforcement also utilized experts from outside agencies. The case file will now be public. It'll be housed at the University of Tennessee at Martin. The TBI is in the process of transferring the file.
Witness statements long ignored in 1967 resurfaced. A neighbor recalled hearing Buford and Pauline arguing the night before the shooting. Another said Pauline had confided her fear of Buford, worried he might harm her. For years, these voices were buried.
Our crew went to Buford Pusser's hometown to see how residents are responding to the TBI's murder investigation. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ryan Brooks brings us more on this developing story.
We visited the Buford Pusser Museum in Adamsville to find out how residents are feeling amid murder allegations regarding the late sheriff. We arrived Friday afternoon to find the museum closed and turning visitors away until further notice. Closure follows the TBI's release of evidence that authorities believe connects Pusser to his wife Pauline's murder. One resident we spoke with, Lucky Sweat, says he's unsure of what to believe.
When this all started, I said, whatever they find, I don't think he'll change a whole lot of mind. The people that didn't like Buford before this are still not going to like him, and the people that did like him are still going to like him in the big percentage. I know I still like him. I liked his mother. We're friends.
The city of Adamsville acknowledges the recent findings of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation regarding late Sheriff Buford Pusser. And while it's not the information they hope to receive, they aim to address this matter in a responsible and transparent manner.
Whatever problem him and his wife had, that was between them, you know. I don't know if he did this. I don't know at all if he did.
Sweat tells us about a memory of Pusser that his father shared with him that stuck with him for a lifetime.
He got over in Several one day and had a flat tire. He didn't have a spare, and he didn't have no money with him. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. He started walking over to his courthouse and maybe see somebody. He said, I got to open the door, and Buford come walking out. He said, Buford, have you got a couple of dollars I could get, and I'll get it back to you in town one day this week? Yeah, Mr. Gill. He pulled his wallet out and handed him a $5 bill. He said, I'll see you in town and pay this back. He said, don't you worry about that.
Adamsville Mayor Jackie Ham, in collaboration with the Board of Commissioners, will work to determine an appropriate course of action with respect to the Buford Pusser Museum. In McNairy County, Ryan Brooks, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Psychologists brought in to review the case in 2025 suggested Buford's obsession with his image as the man walking tall created crushing pressure. He couldn't afford weakness. He couldn't afford scandal. Some experts believe Pauline's death may have been the result of a violent domestic argument, covered up by the ambush story. Meanwhile, declassified FBI memos raised even more doubts about Buford's heroism. Agents suspected he exaggerated or even staged some of the supposed assassination attempts against him. The line between truth and performance blurred until no one knew where the real Buford ended and the legend began.
Thank you as well. My name is David Rausch. I am the director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Sorry about that. Good morning. Thank you, General Davidson, for your leadership and partnership in this very unique case. While this investigation is like none other, at the core, it demonstrates why we exist at the TBI. To provide a thorough investigation focused on the victim and relentless pursuit of the truth. For many, the story of Buford Pusser is part of West Tennessee history. And the shooting death of his wife, Pauline, has long stood as an especially tragic chapter. As the story goes, it was August 12, 1967. Buford, then the sheriff of McNairy County, got a call in the early morning hours about a disturbance on New Hope Road. Pauline went with him. As Buford reported, shortly after they passed New Hope Methodist Church, a car pulled alongside them and fired several times, killing Pauline and injuring Buford. The sheriff spent about 18 days in the hospital and required several surgeries to recover.
In 1974, Buford died in a car crash, officially ruled an accident. But with the 2025 revelations, even his death has become clouded in speculation. Was it revenge, fate, or simply bad luck? The climax of the reopened investigation came in 2025, when the DA confirmed that Buford would have been charged with second-degree murder if he were alive. The small Tennessee community was stunned.
I am devastated. It's been a long time since she left, but I always had in my heart, I've had a lot of time to think and to look back at Pauline's life. and she didn't tell me a whole lot. She was just not the type of person to tell you her problems. But I knew deep down there was problems in her marriage. If I only known now what I knew then, she would have never went back to Tennessee. She would have been right here with me. Perfectly honest with you, I'm not totally shocked. And I would just like to say how happy I am to have TBI and Mark Davidson, the district attorney, in my home today to give me some.
Statues of Buford still stand in McNairy County. His home is still a museum. But now, those symbols are under fire. Was he a hero or a villain? This isn't just a Tennessee story. It's about how communities choose to believe in legends, even when the evidence says otherwise. It's about how women like Pauline are erased from history, remembered not for their lives, but for how their deaths served someone else's myth. As you think about this story, picture Pauline that night, sitting in the car with the man she trusted most. Not an ambush, not a cinematic showdown, just a gun, a flash, and silence. This is CrimeBot Chronicles. If this story shook you, subscribe, share, and join the conversation in the comments. Do you think Buford Pusser was the hero Hollywood made him out to be? Or was he a murderer who walked tall only on lies? And remember, every case deserves answers. Every victim deserves the truth.